Welcome back to Movie Idol. So here's my trailer breakdown for episode 4 of Game of Thrones. Obviously be careful for spoilers for episode 3, which was tonight's episode. The big battle of Winterfell was really massive. There was a lot of big deaths, some pretty crazy moments, and yeah, I'm going to be referencing a lot of stuff that happened in tonight's episode, so just yeah, be wary of spoilers. So it looks like episode 4 is picking up, and I mean, it's not really a surprise, but it's picking up pretty much the next day, or it's the morning of the big battle of Winterfell. We see all of them burning all of the dead because that's just a North thing to do. They're burning all of the dead, so that means Theon, Jorah, all of them are probably in that pile. Although I feel like with characters like that, they want to give them like better deaths. Like I do wonder if Theon, like just as a character, and what he means to the Starks and stuff like that. I wonder if they're going to bury him in the crypt or if they're just going to send his body back to the Iron Islands. I am a little curious about that. That's one of the weirder things about everything that happened in tonight's episode is that, I mean, Jon achieved his mission. The White Walkers are defeated. The Night King is defeated. There is none of that now beyond the wall. So is there even a need for a wall anymore? That's a really weird question that I have. Like, are they even going to try and rebuild the wall? Because there's sort of no point in having one now. I guess that's stuff that's going to be coming by the end. Like in the finale, they'll probably address that. But in this trailer, we see everybody burning the bodies, and it seems like Winterfell, it's going to take them a long time to rebuild. They're probably focusing on rebuilding, but it's probably not going to be fully rebuilt to what Winterfell was. Probably not for another like 5 to 10 years. It's going to take them a very long time. I mean, if you rewatch episode 3 and you saw what the Night King and the White Walkers did to Winterfell, it's very brutal. Even with the dragons alone, Viserion, all that destruction, it was pretty brutal. Now that the Night King is dealt with, the next big focus is going to be Cersei and the Iron Throne. Now, I will be honest in saying that I was very disappointed with the Night King's ending. But I will say the whole, point of the series, the Game of Thrones, who gets to sit on the Iron Throne, is a little more interesting. I thought both of the issues were the same issue, but it turns out, no, the Night King thing was its own separate thing, and the Iron Throne thing, I guess, for whoever's going to sit on the throne is something completely separate. The Night King never cared to sit on the throne, or I guess he didn't know anything about the throne. But we see Cersei here, and she's watching the Golden Company. They're getting all settled in. It is a little weird, but it seems like Cersei's actually kind of happy with Euron. I mean, I do think she's just sort of just like, enjoying company, and she's being evil Queen Cersei right now. But for some reason, I predict that she's going to be the one that kills him. I know she's just using him. I'm pretty sure he already knows that too, but I feel like he's going to die because of her. That's just the vibe I'm getting just from this shot. I'm not saying it's going to happen in episode 4, but I do think it's probably going to happen. We have this shot here. Everybody's rebuilding. Everyone's, I guess, is prepping to have all the bodies burned. That's probably going to be one of the first shots of episode 4. We got more reaction here from Sansa, from Arya. There's actually a shot here of Jon. Again, they're all watching all the dead bodies burn. Like, this is the aftermath of that massive battle, and they're going to have a crazy huge pile of bodies. I mean, the fact that they survived and they actually defeated the Night King, I mean, it really felt impossible. It's pretty remarkable that they actually achieved this. Like, we all knew that they were going to. There was no way they were going to finish the series with all of them dying. The end. The Night King wins, right? But the fact that we're seeing what they're doing now and how they're reacting post all the Night King stuff is pretty crazy. Like, that threat is just completely dealt with. I still kind of can't believe it. It's just weird to think that it's just all done now. But yeah, I guess now we're moving on to, I guess, who apparently is supposed to be the main villain, which is Cersei. Something that I don't know if I really necessarily agree with. I don't know if I agree with that decision completely to have Cersei the main villain of the series. I mean, I guess it makes sense. If you consider the impact she's had on the entire series from the beginning, she has always been in every sort of situation in connection to, like, in the beginning with Robert Baratheon and all the Jon Arryn stuff, to the Joffrey situation, to everything with Tywin, and you know what I mean? She's always been there. She's been there from the beginning, and then in season 7 and the finale, or I guess it was the season 6 finale when she gets crowned and she's now the queen of Westeros, we were always building to that moment. And so I guess it makes sense that the final act of this season is going to focus on her. Now we have this shot here of Missandei, Dany, and Varys. Varys I thought was going to die, but I guess he survived, which is, I guess, good. I don't really know what happens to Varys in the next few episodes. He's probably going to survive the series. That's my prediction right now. I do think he's probably going to live and survive it all. But Dany says, "We have won the Great War. Now we will win the last war." So they're heading straight to Cersei. They're heading straight to King's Landing. Daenerys wants that throne. Now that they've defeated this, she wants that throne. And the North, it seems like just from this trailer, the North likely supports Dany now because, I mean, she helped them win, right? Without her, there is no way they were defeating the Night King. I mean, I guess technically without her, the Night King wouldn't have got a dragon to burn the wall down. So Dany was a huge help. And I guess just with the way she's treating everybody, how nice she is to everyone, it makes sense that everyone would support her, right? And now Jon, because she helped him with this big threat, Jon has to help her get the throne now, right? Because he promised her that. And so now I think that's where episode 4 is going to deal with a lot of the claim issues when it comes to Jon, because is he even going to try and claim the throne? I don't think he's going to. I honestly just don't see that happening. I don't see him trying to claim the throne. But I do think in episode 4, the truth about him will come out. It made sense that it wasn't going to come out in episode 2 to like specific characters like Sansa, Arya, and the Stark kids. You know, it wasn't going to come out because there was this big battle. They weren't going to focus on that, but episode 4, they got to set up something big to happen for episode 5. I do think episode 5 is going to be another big battle. Some other bigger moments is probably going to happen in King's Landing. And so what do you focus on for episode 4? Well, you focus on some of the battle aftermath. You focus on setting up some stuff with Cersei, some stuff with, I guess, with Bronn and the Golden Company. And then you also deal with Daenerys and Jon and Daenerys' claim to the throne. Does Jon aid in that? How does Sansa feel about it? And also the revelation of who Jon's parents are to the rest of the Stark children. What that's going to do for this final act, because it needs to come out in episode 4. Imagine if they waited until episode 5 to reveal that to Sansa and Arya. I want more time with this information out there. Like, I feel like Jon hasn't properly assessed this because he's been dealing with the Night King. So yeah, my prediction right now, and it's a pretty, like, I just think it needs to happen for episode 4 is that Sansa, Arya, I mean, obviously Bran already knows, but I think they need to find out about Jon. I think everyone needs to find out about Jon, like Tyrion especially, Jaime, and I hope all of this news spreads to King's Landing. I hope everyone eventually figures like out who Jon is. We have this shot here of Arya and Gendry together. I guess they're just going to be a thing now, and I'm happy about that. We have a Stark and a Baratheon. Well, hopefully a Baratheon. I do think they'll probably make him a Baratheon at the end. We have Targaryen ships sailing. They're on their way down south. Potentially maybe the Dragonstone, but they're for sure going to King's Landing. Like, that's the next big battle. They're going down there. I do wonder what Jaime's part in it's going to be. Is Jaime going to help them defeat Cersei? Like, that's just very weird. Tyrion's obviously going to be on board, but what does Jaime do with all of this? Like, I'm a little confused there. And because all the Bronn stuff hasn't really been like settled yet, I thought there's a chance that Bronn would show up in episode 3 just out of nowhere. It does make me a little more worried and concerned that he might actually kill Jaime or Tyrion. I feel like he won't, just because like writing wise, he's such a good character. Fans love him. He's a really awesome character. Very selfish, very for himself, but it would be the biggest FU, I think, to fans and to just, you know, to who the characters are if Bronn actually killed, I mean, either one of them. So I'm a little worried about how it's going to turn out because it seems like right now, whatever you're expecting with this series or this show, it's just going to go the other way. So yeah, I'm a little worried about that. Sansa also looks concerned in a few shots in this trailer. Either one, she knows like who Jon is now. I think it's more that we're at this place now where they just have to, you know, the North supports Daenerys. Everyone supports Dany now, and Sansa doesn't yet. She still sees Daenerys as the enemy because of what her family did to hers, like 2 decades, 3 decades before. And so I am wondering who Sansa's going to side with. Like, I don't see her siding with Cersei because Sansa's position right now is she doesn't want to bend the knee to anybody. She just wants to be, I guess, Lady of Winterfell, but like they just want to be on their own again, like it was before before Aegon Targaryen landed in Westeros, right? That's what they thought they were doing. They don't want to bend the knee to anybody. So we have this weird situation. We have Sansa who just wants to be on her own. She doesn't want to bend the knee to anybody. We have Dany who really wants her to bend the knee, and I'm really worried about what's going to happen if she doesn't. And then we have Cersei who's obviously defending her throne, and she wants to stay there because that Iron Throne is just everything to her. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what's going to happen in episode 4. Overall, I don't think it's going to be a very massive episode. I think it's going to be, again, a lot of the aftermath of this amazing battle. I do want to get some more stuff or more talk about the Night King and like what they're planning to do now with the wall, what's going to happen, really just in general, because that is such a big thing. Like, they actually killed the White Walkers. That is such a monumental moment in Westerosi history. I want them to focus on that. I want to get a little bit more of that. And then obviously we're going to shift pretty fast to Dany wanting to go and get that throne. The episode is supposed to be just as long as the Battle of Winterfell. I'm pretty sure maybe it's a little bit shorter. So I don't know. What are they filling all that with? There's probably going to be a lot of stuff happening, a lot of build up to whatever happens in King's Landing. Do they make it to King's Landing in next week's episode? I don't really think so, but I do think they're probably going to get very close, but who knows at this point. With Game of Thrones, it's so, like right now anyways, with the last 2 seasons, it is so hard to predict what's going to happen because their pacing is just off the charts right now. They're rushing through everything. Realistically, you think, well, they're probably not going to show anything of Dany or Jon talking with Cersei in next week's episode, but you never know. Everything that we're seeing in this trailer could happen from the first like half an hour, then the rest of it, they're down there. Anyways, post your predictions down below. What do you think is going to happen in episode 4? How do you feel about the Night King dying? Are you okay with that? Do you wish it would have dragged on a little bit into episode 4 or 5? Post your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.